I'm doing a little search of the area for any tracks. This is the primitive part of Cathedral Lake, and has just a lot of rocks to climb. You can see the different layers in that rock. I mean, the glacier activity and the runoff of the glacier that was in the Desolation Wilderness really left its mark. And how it was 10,000 years ago is how it is today, believe it or not. It's not much has changed since then, since the last ice age. I love this area. It has a lot of Bigfoot. No, on this expedition I did not find any evidence, which is fine, you know, because we run a paranormal group, but we're also a nature and adventure group, and we also seek preservation, and sometimes we just like to go to areas where Bigfoot's been sighted, just to kind of show you how remote that area might be and secluded, but it really is a beautiful place. And you know, there could be caves, there's a lot of areas for something to hide, even if there's a lot of people. One Sasquatch hiding in this thick brush is probably not going to be seen. But you can't really get tracks when you have a rocky shore. And there are some lakes in the Sierras that have lots of Bigfoot tracks, but those areas have mud, and they're more, you know, they're larger lakes, and there's offshoots and things like that. But you can see, and you can hike up to Mount Tallac by going between, here's Cathedral Peak, kinda. You can't really see it all, but between the mountain here and the mountain going up in here, if you hike in the canyon, you can come around and get on top of the mountain. And it's still a few miles away, so I mean, if you think it's an easy hike, it's not. And there's hardly any trees up there, so technically, you know, you'll roast in the summer. But, and as much as I'm capable of climbing such peaks, I do believe that, you know, yeah, it's got great $1 million views. I do believe sometimes it's good enough for me just to see. Today I've seen 4 or 5 lakes, beautiful forests, beautiful peaks, and I mean, that to me is just makes it worthwhile. And you know, there's a lot of people who hate on me. I don't know if it's jealousy, but people, you know, so much hatred, the name calling, and mocking how I look, calling me freak and faggot and all that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, anybody who backpacks or works hard investigating Bigfoot doesn't deserve that type of treatment. They deserve respect. You know what's funny is that I've been hiking for a few hours out here, and I've talked to about 20 to 30 people hiking, including an older man who I was talking about wildflowers with, and not one of those individuals was rude to me, unfriendly to me, didn't look at my nails being black, all strange. You know, I am goth. I am part of the gothic culture. That doesn't make me a freak. It doesn't make me weird. There are so many more people who are psychotic and weird than me. I'm just a guy who, you know, we're running a non-profit paranormal group, preserving historical sites, doing good deeds and helping other people. What gives people the right to sit there and make fun of me when I'm the one who pays for the website, operates these forums for free, and provides a public service? I mean, who are people to hate on me? And when you think about how can you hate on somebody when these people are mooching off of us? So, you know, you have to understand that there are people in the paranormal community who are not right in the head. Everybody's a medium, everybody's a psychic, everybody's a cryptozoologist when they haven't even ever been out in the woods to study such a creature. And I'm saddened that this is what this field has become. You know what it is? When I find some really great evidence, other people start to degrade me, put me down, because they're jealous. And it's not just jealousy. They're very vindictive, and they think that this is about fame and money, and it bothers them. It bothers them because they wish that they could find tracks like we do, and they're too afraid to leave the trail or go off into the woods. And when people put us down, you wonder, where's their website? Who are these people? They don't have a radio show. You don't know who they are. I've done stories for the news, the newspaper. I've been on television. I've written books. Cathedral Peak, Mount Tallac. People know who I am. I mean, when you're doing it for, 13, 14 years, you open your society up. I mean, this is not an amateur group. But, I've had a lot of Bigfoot and alien experiences and close encounters. And some of the evidence we have is the best in the world. So apparently that doesn't deserve respect, or, people are so quick to dismiss all our evidence. And it's like the moment you start dismissing evidence is the moment you will never find Bigfoot, aliens, or any of this. And people are so paranoid, they don't even know what's real anymore. They have no clue to what's real and not real. And that's sad. Because when I give my expert opinion, it's credible, it's reputable, it's honest, and it's based on field work. It's not based on, I seen it on TV, so this is the way it's got to be. And these people that just live by their television, the adventure begins where the road ends. And there's no roads out here. This, my friends, is a desolation wilderness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I made it to a Vista point. My family's enjoying a picnic far below, but this is what Cathedral Lake looks like from above. It's fairly round shaped. Looks like a giant volcanic crater filled with water, doesn't it? But you have Mount Tallac, and you have Cathedral Peak. These are some, pretty sophisticated mountains. And a lot of cliffs. You could use ropes if you want to scale the side of it. A lot of rock climbers do. And then we get, if you look, we get into some pretty large mountains of the desolation wilderness. There's Pyramid Peak back in here. It's pyramid shaped. Look at that. And we pan on over, and you can see all that blue between the trees. All that blue that you see beyond those trees is Lake Tahoe. And if you look down carefully, if I pan on down, that's Fallen Leaf Lake. And that area is known for its Sasquatch sightings. And I've had a few campers write me and say they found prints. And that's what I'm talking about when I say to not dismiss evidence. People dismiss my finds and they don't understand. We cannot dismiss evidence. Even if it turns out that it's, it can be explained, we're still doing a good job documenting anything that's a little bizarre and strange. I think people don't understand. We're not just chasing Bigfoot and the paranormal. Anything that's odd or strange, we're going to document and film, because it makes an interesting story, and the public can come to their own conclusions and have a healthy debate and integrate science and intelligence, but also to be able to work together. And that's what the paranormal should be, is people, if they want to find answers, they need to be able to work together to do so. And we live in a world now where the paranormal is popular and mainstream, but at the same time, people don't want to work together. They don't have no clue to what they're talking about or what they're looking at. They are all out for fame, money, competition. They troll these forums because they're looking for attention. They live on their computers. They don't live in the wilderness. We spend a lot of time in the wilderness. I wanted to show you something really cool. It looks like a petrified tree. Got some volcanic rock. But, obsidian and all that. But I want to show you a really awesome peak. It's called Pyramid Peak. So I had to pan over or walk on over here to kind of show you guys it. But there's lots of different landmarks that are visible. Here you go. Sorry if my camera's making all sorts of odd sounds. Something's wrong with my camera, unfortunately, and we don't know what it is, and unfortunately there's something in the lens, and yeah, so it looks like I'll be getting this replaced in a couple weeks. Unfortunately, these things happen when you go out in the outdoors and you beat the shit out of your camera, climbing and crawling and just the elements and everything else. It has a toll, but it's a very vast area, as you can see, and the Desolation Wilderness is a primate playground. But anyways, I wanted to show you this. It looks like a petrified piece of wood. Or wood, I mean, the rock, it's not. But when you look at the rock, when you look at this rock, it almost looks like a stump, a petrified stump. Whoa, that butterfly almost flew into me. And it's not. But it's pretty cool still. We did find a fossil earlier. I mean, you have to understand, these rocks probably do have fossils and other interesting features about them. But this is truly an amazing area, and it's my own little hike to look for Bigfoot evidence. But we're not always here to look for evidence. The thing is, when it comes to Sasquatch, and I've lived out in the Sierras for a few years, I've learned one thing. Something is out there making tracks in remote areas. Now, we're not just saying boot tracks or sneaker tracks, but tracks with toes. Enormous size feet. 18 inches, 16 inches. My biggest one, 22 inches with toes. Monstrous, twice as wide as my foot. Who's making them? And we document our finds, and the public is persecuting us. So there's a lot of ignorance in the paranormal community. But these landmarks just prove how hard we work to get to them. And so for anybody who says we fail and we're losers, well, I don't see where we're at as a losing situation. I see this as an opportunity to share these beautiful places with the world. We're non-profit. I don't make one red cent. I'm not after fame. I just want to share these beautiful places. If that makes me a bad person, then obviously there are some people in this field who have very serious mental issues. Because this, my friends, is a $1 million view, and I am in the middle of nowhere. I'm not on some forum making fun of people and trolling boards. I base my research on my field work and experiences, and you should too. But then again, how many people on forums have their own evidence or research? None of them. And those are the ones that run their mouth. And I don't have to run my mouth here because I'm standing here. What more proof do you need? Nothing staged. We didn't fail. We succeeded. We made it to Cathedral Peak and Canyon. Check us out sometime. www.paranormalghostsociety.org, your gateway to the Sierras and all things strange. Over 1,000 cases, over 60,000 photos, thousands of pieces of evidence, EVPs, videos, strange finds, Bigfoot evidence. And you will see that our hearts, our souls, and our minds are totally dedicated towards what we do. And I sit here and I spend thousands of dollars so that my viewers can enjoy these places. And do you know what we get? We get bigotry. Bigotry. I get called fag, and I get death threats, and people make fun of my kid. And you know, there's no room for human beings in our world like that. And I'm afraid it's just going to get worse. The paranormal community has gone downhill. And there's very few people who want to work together. And that's fine. If you don't want to work with me, then I'll do this by myself. And I know I can count on my family to support me and help me with what I need. So I'm sharing something very beautiful here. And there's no gimmicks. This is Bigfoot country. You can do your research. The Desolation Wilderness has had some amazing Bigfoot vocalizations, prints, sightings over the years. And those are real. And I suppose those credible people, backpackers, are lying too, right? We research these places because we're making migration charts. We're following their patterns, their migratory routes that they take. Our research is well done and well put together. And if you let your skepticism get in the way, you're never going to learn about these beautiful creatures. So anyways, lots of landmarks, a lot of strong words from me to the paranormal community. Sit on it and think about it for a while. I mean, there comes a time to be professional and to do things professionally. And if you want to find the truth, you have to work together and put your differences aside. And if you want to work with me, we can really put out some good material. And if you don't, and I get this evidence myself, and you knock me, it shows me that you're ignorant, jealous, moronic, childish, and that you can't tell the difference of what is credible and real, but yet you'll watch a fictitious, pre-skidded or scripted paranormal show, and you'll believe that because it's on TV for entertainment, but you won't believe the guy that's standing in the middle of the Desolation Wilderness. So there's some food for thought. Always staying honest, keeping it real. This is Lord Rick.